maybe some of our viewers are just at the beginning of their bike journey. They're like a new parent or new guardian, just starting to contemplate biking with their little one. David, I'm curious. You've got a whole troop now. How young is too young? When did you start bringing your kids along?
6 months in the trailer, and we went to the bagel shop for Saturday morning breakfast. So,
That's adorable.
yeah,
6 months. Was it a trailer, the one like down and below behind you?
right, a pull behind trailer. Yeah, those are great. Those they last a long. If you buy a good one, they last a long time, and they can put two kids back there. And my 5-year old. So when I pick up the kids from elementary school, I bring the trailer because we put all the backpacks and whatever stuff they bring home. And the 5-year old always wants to climb inside and just ride it as his little chariot. I'm like, no, you got a bike, buddy. But he enjoyed his time in it. So yeah, what 6 months old is the research I had done at the time was I was jonesing. I really got into biking right when my first son was born. And so at 6 months we started biking with him.
Wow. All right. All right. So thinking about trailers and bike seats, Brett. All right. At the bike shop, what type of bike seats do I even look for, and what makes sense for younger kids? Are there the best model? Help me, please.
Well, one of the things I did was I did send along some links so people can do some research on their own. We don't need to pull those up here, but I guess those will be available later. I did a
Absolutely.
lot of research. I did a lot of research into this, and it really comes down to choice. There's pros and cons multiple ways. I'm going to start out with my personal opinion is trailering the best. It's probably one of the safer ways and more stable ways to transport kids. But let's start with front mounted child seats. We're talking about the one that sits maybe on the handlebars or just out front of the handlebars. Typically, the child is facing forward. Some of the pros about that is you can see, obviously, you see the kid in front of you, see the child in front of you. You can see if they make any weight shifts, or you can kind of anticipate those things. Gives the child a great view of what's going on, and it makes it a lot easier for you to hold a conversation with the child that's in that seat. Some cons or some disadvantages of that is it does change the center of gravity and the handling of the bicycle for the rider. A lot of times it can limit the knee room for the rider, particularly if you have a taller rider, that can become almost impossible. And the kids can, they're sitting on the handlebars either through weight shifts or actually grabbing the handlebars, either behind them. They can actually affect your steering. The scary part about that is your kids, anything that's going to hit you is going to hit them first. Not necessarily the best idea.
Yikes.
The rear mounted seats, there's some pros for those. Those are better for providing leg room for the rider, and they're going to protect kids from most debris. If you're in an area maybe where there's some low hanging branches, because maybe you are on the sidewalk or a neighborhood where they haven't trimmed the trees quite so well. If you got a kid up front and they go to duck, you've got trouble because you've just changed the geometry of that bike. So having the kid in the back is going to be a little bit safer for them. Some disadvantages there are balancing the bike, either mounting or dismounting the bike. That changes things. You can't see your kid. And I just don't think, if I was a kid, I wouldn't want the view. That's, lead dog gets the best view.
Or
So,
daddy's sweaty back. That's
yeah,
what I think of.
I don't know that I'd want that view. But another popular choice is trailers. And I think that David already pointed out some big advantages with trailers. The kids can bring toys along. They can bring stuff along. They can bring reading material. If you're going on a longer ride, they can bring their backpacks. They can carry more stuff. You can have typically up to 2 kids safely in there in one of those. Doesn't take away any space from the rider. It's going to be more comfortable for the kids. It's going to provide protection from debris. A lot of these trailers will have even curtains where if it's a light mist or rain, they can drop you can drop it down. It protects the kids from the elements. Again, more passengers. The low height of those trailers is certainly going to make it safer in case of a fall over, that the kids, certainly if they fall, they got less distance to fall. Key thing, helmets, always helmets. I recommend those probably in situations where there's low traffic or little or no traffic. I mean, that's I don't know. I go down South Orange Blossom Trail pulling a bike trailer with my kids in it. So
Well,
there's
that
some advantages and disadvantages all the ways, and it really
yeah.
comes down to what works best for you.
Yeah, no, that's great. And one of the things that I like about the bike trailer is like once the kids age out, you can still use it. And I find like when I go to the grocery store and buy too much, like it's helpful for that. And I also, whether it's true or not, I feel like motorists around me, they assume that there are kids in that trailer. So there's a little bit of encouragement for good behavior for that. So